So today we're going to do, I got an order from a new company called, well, it's not new, but a new to me company called Baraka Shea Butter. And it is a company that provides, they have fair trade, ethically harvested shea butter, which is fair trade and processed by hand by women in Guyana. And so I wanted to give it a try because I'm really picky about the ingredients that go in our soap or anything that's going to go on our skin and therefore through our largest organ and into our body. And I've heard really great things about this company. I had not tried their shea butter before. I get my organic shea butter usually from another company, but I wanted to give this one a try. They also have ethically and sustainably harvested palm oil and cocoa butter, and I can't remember all what's in here. I got a sample pack so I could give it a try, and I just wanted to do an unboxing and let you know what I think about it, and then I'll come back later after I've used them and give you an update on what I thought about these products. But one of the reasons why we really are picky about our ingredients is that when my kids were little, the reason why we started goats in the first place and what spurred us into trying to live an organic lifestyle and all that stuff was actually finding out what was in all of the baby care products that we were using at the time, all the harmful chemicals and ingredients that were in there, and that's what spurred us to do body care, which actually took us, it wasn't the first thing we did, unfortunately. I wish we had started sooner, but I was kind of afraid of doing things myself, and I had just been purchasing more organic options and natural options from, the time there was only Whole Foods. We had to drive an hour and a half. At the time we were living in the Tampa area, and the only Whole Foods was in Orlando, so we would drive an hour, probably over an hour, it was like 70 something miles once a month to go get all of the things that we needed from Whole Foods, and it got to be really expensive. So therefore that is why we were living on a single income and homeschooling. So we moved to Tennessee and all of that and started to get goats, but it was actually a few years before we actually got the courage to actually try making our own. So I did salves and became an herbalist, studied for a long time for that, became an aromatherapist, just many things before I actually started making our soap. But then even some of the natural soaps and even some of the soaps that were handmade, actually I found had some harmful ingredients in them. So I wanted to be able to control and know exactly what was going in my stuff, and what we were putting on our skin. So I had to start making it myself. And we knew what we fed our goats, and we knew what we were putting in the soap, so all of that good stuff. There's some really nasty things that are in body care products. Ureas, propylene glycol, which is antifreeze, and it's an extremely common ingredient in body care products, hand sanitizer. Just look it up. Sulfates, which in soap themselves can create I think it's called, oh my gosh, I cannot, it actually forms a carcinogenic, and then triclosan, which is actually a preservative, and it can actually be in a lot of, because you can get it, preservatives for liquid things, which is why we do not do goat's milk lotions, because you have to use a preservative in order for it to be shelf stable. And I have not found a preservative that is safe enough to use in a lotion, so therefore we don't do it. You can actually make it yourself in the refrigerator and keep it refrigerated and use without a preservative, but it's hard to sell anything like that. And then there's DEA. Triclosan is the preservative. Phthalates, which are in fragrances. We use phthalate-free fragrances because the phthalates have cancer-causing toxins, and then parabens that are in They are estrogen mimickers, which they're hormone disruptors. So not very good for men and actually not good for anybody. And then the triclosan also creates dioxin, which is a known carcinogen. But anyway, so that's just a few of the things. Just look it up. I mean, you can find there's a whole bunch of stuff with words that you can't even pronounce, but if you look them up, you can find out what's in them. But anyway, so back to the Baraka Shea Butter. We'll see what we got in here. We did get palm oil, and I actually needed some red palm because I used that in one of my essential oil blend soaps. Our 4th use soap I use to get a red color. I use organic red palm oil, so some of that is in here. And it says their butter and oils are hand grown and harvested by smallholder farmers in Guyana. These high quality products originate from community-based smallholder farms using traditional processes and techniques to grow and harvest the fruits that make our butters and oils. For most women and families, this is the mainstay of their household economy. So this one bundle includes the Baraka Shea Butter, Baraka Cocoa Butter Bits, Baraka Traditional Pressed, having a hard time talking today, Virgin Coconut Oil, Baraka Palm Kernel Oil, and the Baraka Red Palm Oil. So these are supposed to be certified organic as well, and also obviously sustainable. And I guess this is just a catalog with all of the good stuff that they have. So I can see the red palm oil right away. It's kind of noticeable. My husband, we had this sitting on my table for a while, and this is Florida. This sat out on my porch for, an hour or so, and yeah, Squish City oils do not like heat. This will actually harden back in a cool environment, and you have to make sure you mix it because the oils will kind of separate a little bit from the fat that's in here, and then you'll have to, but this looks really good. It probably smells horrible because it's unrefined, and unrefined red palm oil doesn't, it doesn't smell horrible because I actually will cook with it, but it definitely has a distinct scent. And then this one is the cocoa butter, which takes a lot to melt it. So this one is nice and solid. This actually looks really, really good. I'm gonna we'll open this one up. Well, it's already open, I guess. Just in a bag. But we'll open this one and I'm gonna put it in a different bag. Bring off a chunk. This is actually what cocoa butter in its unmelted state looks like, and smells just like white chocolate. Oh, it's so, so good. I've made in the past a unscented soap, which I use the unrefined cocoa butter and chocolate or cocoa powder in heavy quantities, and it smells just like taking a bath with a bar of chocolate. It's so good, and all naturally, totally unscented, except for the scent that's naturally in cocoa butter and cocoa powder. And this, I guess, is it's the palm oil, so it's actually pretty solid. Palm kernel oil. It's not typically what I use. I use just not palm kernel, but palm oil. Let's see. I think they're saying it's the same thing, so we'll see. That one feels really good. And this is the shea butter, and this one is certified organic, fair trade, all that good stuff. I think this is what they are primarily known for. And I'm kind of picky about my shea butter, so it actually looks really good. It's a nice tan color instead of being extremely yellow, which I like. But we'll get this open. It smells really good. It doesn't smell off. It smells just like shea butter should smell like, and it looks really clean, which is nice. I've gotten in the past, we've gotten some shea butter that had nice little bugs in it. Not the best when you're making soap, but it definitely proved that it was unrefined. So that was a good thing. And then the coconut oil, which doesn't take much, to like 76 degrees to melt coconut oil. So this is definitely melted in our heat, where it was like I think it was feel like 107 today. So humidity through the roof. And this really looks good. I don't know if this is organic, handcrafted, community source, but it doesn't say if it is refined or not. So we'll give it an open and we'll see what it smells like. But anyway, this sat on my table in the dining room for a couple of days, and my husband was wondering what the smell was coming from. And I had to tell him it was this. There was a definite odor. Oh, it's unrefined. Oh, it smells really good. So that really smells really nice. Make sure I don't spill all that. So I'm really impressed so far. We'll have to see how, I'm gonna hold this up because it's gonna spill. But we'll have to see what how it turns out when we actually use it to make some soap. And I'll have to make a batch, and I'll try to make one. Maybe I'll try to make one where I'm using all of them. So I'll use the red palm oil. I might make my 4 Thieves plus, and because all of these ingredients, well, except for the cocoa butter, but I can mix the two. They're not typically both in my 4 Thieves soap, but I can do that this time, and we'll see how it turns out. But so just stick around, and I'll come back later and let you know how the soap turned out when we're using all of these ingredients.